Hello, everyone. It's the end of January, which means it's time for the January update. There have been significant challenges, but production for part one of Eon Blade is still on track to happen at the end of April and going into the first week of May. Just about everything is set up for this. Although we something fun that I've been working on recently for Eon Blade are these experiments that I've been doing with digital replica of the Paraclete, which, as you know, is Jitney's car. In reality, it's a 1935 Auburn Speedster, which really exists and is downstairs right now. But there are a couple of stunts that I've always wanted to do that are, things I obviously can't do with that car. My solution for this originally was going to be a miniature, but I've spent literally 10 years trying to get a miniature of this car built. And I've gone to like custom RC guys that, build these beautiful RC cars, like everywhere from the US to Korea to Japan, like guys that do like clay sculptures the same way that they do for like real cars. And they turned me down. I went to a studio in LA that quoted me $40,000 to build a 1/6 scale model of the car, which that's almost enough to buy a life size replica of the car. So that's out. I went to these aircraft, like large scale aircraft modelers. They would build like these hyper realistic aircraft models, I guess for like just office displays. And they wouldn't do it. Like they looked at the car and they were like, "It's too complex. We can't make that." And I was just like, "You guys make airplane models." I started thinking maybe I could do this digitally, and I've always been like really reluctant to do that because I was just afraid it couldn't look real. That's why like I insisted on the danger element. When you see the machine guns come up on the hood, I insisted on doing that as a miniature, which Ted Smith did, because I thought, it's just digitally, it's going to look dumb. But the technology has changed over the past decade, and I've been learning Unreal Engine for the past 5 years or so. I was able to dismantle an existing drivable car and then build my model of the Auburn over it. So then you can drive it, and it has all these realistic physics and everything. And so I've been experimenting with that, doing stunts, recording them in the clip recorder, and adding other elements to it, experimenting with the physics, all that stuff. It's so much fun that I have probably worked on it too much in the past month or so. But I do need it for a couple of shots in Eon Blade Part 1. Some of the costumes and stuff started coming in. Like we got the coats and stuff for the Arcanite enforcers. And of course Ted's building the hats and the mask. But the coats look great. Something funny that's been going on. There's this legitimate film financing company that's been hounding me for the past few days, wanting me to consider taking $1 million loan from them to finance the movie. And this is a legitimate way that films do get funded. Um, but the thing is, like, my project it's always been meant to be like a personal and like cultural endeavor. I've already sacrificed a lot. I cannot afford to take on $1 million in debt. But the company also they do find like investment capital. So I told them, if you guys actually think that my film has commercial appeal, then go find investment capital, and you guys do that work up front. And if you find it, then I'll pay you a percentage, or I'll hire you to do production, something like that. But yeah, like this is the kind of thing, I don't know, like people don't realize this. I have a lot of people that tell me like, "John, you should go talk to like Angel Studios or the Daily Wire, or, so and so said he started a company." And I've talked to all these people. Okay, I actually have. What ends up happening is I'm usually bringing a lot more to the table than they're willing to bring to the table. and it's unfair in my eyes. Like I'm not going to take on debt because you think my movie might be profitable. I'm already in debt, So like, if you want to do something like that, you need to bring something to the table that is like at least as much work as I've done. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep doing it like this. The whole idea behind this was that I would spend my money and people like you would spend your money, and together we'd get to see something that we wanted that otherwise couldn't exist. It's never really meant to make money. Do I think that it could? Do I think it actually is probably marketable? Yeah. Like, is it viable as like a profitable thing? Yeah, it probably is. But I've never seen anybody have enough confidence in it that they were willing to bring risk to the table the way that I have, and including any of these companies. They will actually make you offers and things, but they're unfair in my opinion. And in speaking of the industry, this is not perfectly connected to Eon Blade, but it is kind of film related and industry related. So I started a YouTube series. I started a YouTube series where I comment on movies and sort of current events from the perspective of a Catholic catechist. A lot of you may not know, like, aside from being like an Emmy-nominated motion picture editor and a independent filmmaker, I've also spent the last 25 years studying the history and the teachings of the Catholic Church. And for at least half of that time, I've been a catechist and an apologist for the Catholic Church. And I've done that both as just a private ministry as well as professionally at times. So I thought, well, this is like my favorite thing to talk about. So I thought, like, why don't I'll sit down and watch Constantine and I'll just commentate on it from the perspective of a Catholic expert. And I did a couple other smaller videos. Someone from a production company in LA saw these, and they ended up hiring me as a Catholic religious consultant on a TV commercial. And I can't tell you anything about the commercial. I can't tell you what brand it's for, and I can't tell you the company that did it. But what I can tell you is when I showed up, I was very surprised because it was a huge production. Like, I've been on some big movie sets, and this was bigger than some of those. It was insane. And they actually had me pretty busy. I was helping the art department. I was available throughout the entire day to the director while he was shooting to ask me questions. It was really cool. It was exciting. It wasn't hard. It didn't feel like work because this is just something that comes very easily to me. I could talk for 2 hours about it if you get me started. And everybody's really respectful. And it'd be really cool if I got to do more work like that. It doesn't seem like a lot of productions care that much about getting these kinds of details right. Once again, I want to thank everybody here who has supported the project financially, and I also want to thank you for your ongoing support and prayers, which I need more of, and more than just about anything else, I think. I'm super excited and a little bit nervous that the shoot is coming up. As you can see, I'm a lot older than I was when I did the Danger Element. But it means so much to me that so many people believe in what we're doing. But yeah, I think that's all I've got this month. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.